Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our last show of 2019. Kieran and I are here today to preview Game Week 20 and wrap up Game Week 19 in the process. How are you doing today, Keek?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Good, yeah, I'm really good too. So we've got lots to talk about, not least Hazard's blistering form, City's disastrous Christmas, and Salah's back-to-back double-digit game weeks. So we're going to start by taking a look at our Game Week 19 scores. So Keek, take us through your score.
Well, I'll quickly mention Game Week 18 as well. I got 42 points, way below average, and a drop from drop of 30k to 94k, which is horrible because I didn't captain Aubameyang. And then Game Week 19, as you can see, 71 points, and it still was a red arrow of 4k to 98k. So yeah, Game Week 18 really did the damage for me. Missing out on loads of hauls, not captaining Abba in 18. Keeping faith with Abba this week for 16 points. Yeah, not too bad. Happy with that. Kept faith with Sane and Sterling again doing nothing. Thought there might be a bounce back there, but unfortunately not. I had Trippier in the starting lineup. Digne was on my first bench. Trippier didn't play, thank God. I was really scared Poch would put him on for 1 minute, and thankfully he did not. Digne coming on, big hero of that week, I suppose, and Anderson with 15 points last night. You can't really say that the week's over until it's over. So yeah, I was happy with Anderson. That makes my score okay. It would have been horrible otherwise.
Yeah, it was a big evening for you last night with those Digne points and Anderson coming in for you.
Yeah,
that was like quite a high percentage of your actual game week points. So that was great.
Yeah, pretty much.
A pretty decent week. So I had a pretty poor game week 18. I can't actually remember how much I got, but I know it was definitely under average. I think it might have been 52, and I think the average was 55, something like that. So I didn't have a particularly good one, but yeah, a little bit better this week. So I made 2 transfers. I was getting sick of Laporte's 1 and 2 point shares, and I fancied Lovren at home to Newcastle. So I made that switch, and additionally I wanted some Man United players. I thought Martial was the best of the picks in what I could afford for the moment, which was pretty much Martial or Jay Lings. I didn't fancy Rashford, and I couldn't quite stretch to Pogba. So yeah, picked Martial, and I was just unlucky that he's got this illness, this bug. So I think he's due to be back in, isn't he, for Sunday?
Yeah, so should play.
Yeah. So hold him. So 84 points saw me rise from 43 to 30k. So yeah, pleased.
Yeah, I'm frustrated at 90k. That 71 wasn't enough for a green, at least.
Yeah, because it's way above average as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought I'd be still sort of like high enough that sort of points would get me somewhere, but really not. So
yeah, we've changed the top of our graphic recently. So on our review screen, it now shows who the biggest buys of the game week were and what the top 10k average and the overall average are. So you can see the top 10k average, 72, which is slightly just more than what you got compared to the overall average of 56. It shows us quite a big disparity there. So I guess all these higher up people, or people who are in the top of 100,000.
I'm not close to the top 10k anymore, so that wouldn't make sense.
It's a nice target to look at, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
We can judge ourselves against it. Cool. All right. I don't think there's much else to say about our point reviews. Just on to the next game week. Really, we're going to do a team by or game by game review, and then head into like a more focused discussion on captaincy and transfers at the end. But before we head into our game by game review, I just want to pick up on the FPL Cougars League because Kieran and I keep a close look on it, and I want to firstly apologise to Shannon, who I incorrectly named Sharon last week. And Shannon. Shannon is top of our. That was a joke. Shannon is at top of our FPL Cougars League. She's got an overall rank of 84th in the world. So it's just a fantastic season. She was 24th before this game week. She went for Rashford captain this week and ultimately scored 63. So going to keep an eye on her progress because it'd be great to see if she could finish inside the top 10, if not first.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, when you're that close at this stage of the season, then anything can happen. So keep it going. I also wanted to shout out to Ryan O'Brien, who scored the most in the FPL Cougars mini league this week. He scored 113. He took a -8, but played his free hit chip. He played his bench boost actually. He captained Pogba, and he also had Hazard, Digne, Aubameyang, Pereira, Wan-Bissaka, and Richarlison. So they were his main point scorers. So Yeah, 113 points. Well done to Ryan. Fantastic.
Yeah, well played.
Yeah, very good. Right, shall we move on to our fixture discussion? We'll start with one of the 3 o'clock fixtures. I think it's Brighton Everton we're going to talk about up first. So,
Yep.
do you want to praise Digne as we move into these kind run of fixtures for Everton?
Yeah, looks fantastic, didn't he? I mean, he only had 2 shots on goal and 2 goals, so it's not like his XG or XA was huge for that. So, but yeah, very happy. Free kicks again. Just don't give away free kicks near the box for Everton. I see like Sigurdsson put one in from the other side, and Digne has just been, I guess, maybe not lucky, but just very clinical with those free kicks. Very, very good. And hopefully he gets a few more. They've got great fixtures coming, so yeah, I'll be playing him from now on. Not putting him on my bench for the next probably 6 weeks or so, I think. Yeah, he's great. 5 million, I think he's gone up to maybe 5. Oh no, he rose back up to 5, I think it was. But yeah, don't buy him expecting goals or anything. His bread and butter is this just onto Richie's head or whoever's in the middle's head, and then yeah, just a few free kicks every now and then would be fantastic. And yeah, very happy with him.
Yeah, he's looking really good, isn't he? So that was his 3rd and 4th attacking return in his last 4 games. And he played left wing back, didn't he, against Burnley, because they rolled out the 3 at the back. So if that's a staple of things to come, it could be even more attacking returns. And it looks like he's taking corners from both sides ahead of Sigurdsson, which is it's kind of huge, isn't it, really? Because you think Siggy should be the dead ball master, really.
Yeah, I think Sigurdsson kept hold of penalties, didn't he? Which is maybe a slight surprise. Maybe if Richarlison's on the pitch, he might have taken it. But yeah, like Siggy, still integral to that team, isn't he? So and he's keeping the penalties, which is good for him and his owners, I suppose. And he did well this week as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I think Everton. This looks like the right time to invest in them. A lot of people have been asking us about if it's time to get rid of Alonso. I mean, you've got him, but you already have Digne at the moment. Would you advise Alonso out for Digne at the moment? I think it's just these 2 goals that have made people really start to think about it seriously.
I mean, maybe not Alonso out for Digne, maybe someone else. But I think Alonso's next few fixtures are just so good that I think he's probably worth keeping.
Yeah,
I am at least. I can see why people are getting rid of him, but yeah, I wouldn't say Alonso to Digne is right. I think you need to get Digne in. Maybe not need, but he's definitely preferable with the way he's been playing at the moment.
Yeah,
I don't imagine that wing back formation will continue because I think Richarlison was rested, and then when he comes back in, that he'll probably drop back a bit. That's the 4. But yeah, Digne can obviously get anything from free kicks, set pieces. So I'd say if you've got someone like Doherty, maybe bring him out for a couple of games. Just because Wolves' fixtures are tough for the next few, and Digne's are very good. So that could be a nice sideways move, possibly.
Yeah, and I think it's one to monitor. My opinion, I've still got Alonso, and I've been looking to see if it's worth taking him out. But ahead of Crystal Palace and then back-to-back home games against Southampton and Newcastle, it just seems like seems a bit reactive, really. I know he's had a poor run of games now, but perhaps now isn't the right time. Richarlison, like you say, Richarlison got benched, didn't he? But he's now got a goal and assist in his last 2, and he's great. This great run of fixtures coming up. I took him out a couple of weeks ago for Anderson, and that's proved to be a bit of a successful punt, really. But I'm not sure if I want to bring him back in for Anderson at the moment, despite these fixtures. Are you quite happy with him at the minute? 3 shots in 23 minutes. I don't know if that's more a reflection of Burnley or Richarlison, really.
I'm happy with him. He's not going anywhere for the time being. Good fixtures. Came on and scored, so proves he can do something off the bench if he ever is benched. But I think he'll probably play the rest of the chaotic, congested fixtures over Christmas because he's had his rest.
Yeah.
And I think, he's going to be worth some goals. Capable of hauls.
Yeah.
8, 6, 9, something like that, isn't he? And in an attacking team who are obviously confident now after their 5-1 win, wasn't it? Obviously, they got smashed 6-2 by Spurs, but they're confident again. They wanted to give their fans something to cheer after getting rioted by Spurs.
Yeah.
And I think Richie's the main man in that lineup, isn't he? So, I think he'll be good. And obviously, Brighton at home or away. Sorry, it's not going to be easy for them. But yeah, I feel like they're feeling confident. So goals from him and Digne, or maybe assists to Richarlison. Yeah, I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough ask for Brighton this one. They've got no clean sheets in 9 games now. They look quite. I thought they were quite spirited and played pretty decently against Arsenal, but there's no one really in their team who's standing out to me as a fantasy asset at the moment. Is it Locadia, 5-3 midfielder?
Yeah,
or striker. Yeah, he's got patchy minutes and played out on the left wing, so you don't really want a reverse out of position player in your team, really. So it's really hard to suggest any of their players at the moment. So would you expect Everton winning this one?
Yeah, I've got a 3-1 win down here. But I think Duncan's going to be back from his ban. So Duncan and Duffy will finally be back together, and which they're usually always better.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be closer, but I think Everton will probably just come out winners, maybe the last 10-15 minutes. They'll probably get 2 goals or something like that. I think it might be a 3-1. So 1-0, kind of 70 minutes, something like that, and then get a few close towards the end.
A late battering. Well, I'm going to keep my eye on it closely because Richarlison is, at the moment I've got Anderson and Martial, so they could be at any time just an easy swap out for Richarlison if it looks like he's really kicking into form. So I'll be watching that one closely, and hopefully I won't have to worry about it with Martial back fit.
I wanted to call out Mina again.
Oh yeah,
just quickly because he's finally got his goal, and yeah, hopefully he can kick on really big differential in that defence. They can keep a clean sheet, and he usually gets bonus. So yeah, good on you, Mina.
I think him missing out was part of the reason they got tonked by Spurs so badly.
Yeah, absolutely. Zoom was terrible. So.
Yeah. All right, so another 3:00 game on. Is it Sunday? I'm getting so lost with the days now. No, it's Saturday, isn't it? Saturday. Fulham against Huddersfield. It's a tough one to call this. I think it's the bottom 2 teams now. Huddersfield slipped to bottom after Fulham got that point against Wolves.
Yeah.
All I've got written down as a one to watch on this one is Mitrovic against Dill, because he had 7 shots against Wolves, so he's still just firing them in. All but 2 of those were from inside the box. I just think that goals are coming there, and I would expect it to be in this game, really, if he's going to score. Huddersfield at home, it just seems like a banker for him. But otherwise, Sessegnon got the goal at the weekend, but I can't really recommend any assets in this game.
No, I've got down Mitrovic to finally get on the score sheet as well. I think maybe only 1. I think Huddersfield are usually fairly solid, aren't they? So I can't see Fulham smashing them at all. Maybe just a 1-0 win to Fulham is my guess.
Is it?
Sorry,
it's a huge. I was going to say it's a huge game at the bottom for both of these two because they're starting to get a little bit cut adrift of the other teams in front, and this result could really impact how the season turns out in the second half for one of them. Because I think they're down on 10. I think Huddersfield have got 10 points and Fulham have got 11 points. So both of them need something. But I'm expecting a Fulham win and like you say, close scoring win. I think Mitrovic will be involved there.
No assets to really think of. Yeah,
no,
it's just one of those games that nobody pays much attention to, unfortunately.
All right, well, so we jump right on to Leicester against Cardiff. Have you got your eye on anyone in the Leicester team? Because actually, I should probably start by apologising first because in our preview of game week 18 and 19, we both slagged off Leicester, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we said they had no chance at Chelsea. And they had no chance at home to City, and it could be end of Claude Puel. And look, 6 points from 2 games. And I listened to some of the football phone-ins last night, and people were saying, "Oh, we got it wrong about Claude Puel. He's really good at setting the team out in his big games." But then other people said, "I won't trust him unless we beat Cardiff because we should be beating teams like Cardiff." I don't know what Leicester fans want. I think they've been spoilt by the league win because they're the best of the rest now. They're 7th in the league. So, I don't know. I expect them to win against Cardiff. And the player I wanted to talk about briefly is another potential because he scored against City, is Pereira.
Yeah.
Leicester have got some great fixtures again. He's 5-1, so he's the same price as Digne. He's got goal threat. We know he's got assist potential too. He's sometimes played right back. He's sometimes played right wing.
Mm-hmm.
He's absolute baseline bonus king. That's 11 bonus points he's got this season now. And I think he just looks a really good option for these next couple of game weeks.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. He's down there for me. I think Vardy, Chilwell, Ricardo coming back in the team instead of that Mendy guy. I think and Maguire coming back.
Yep.
It's just boosted Leicester massively, and they look like they're the team that won the league again in the last two, don't they? Just coming up with these wins that you don't really expect them to do. And yeah, Ricardo looks great. I think I've got he's 7.6% owned, 5.1 million. The next four fixtures are really, really nice. So yeah, I'm definitely looking at him. Maybe Chilwell as well, because obviously Chilwell was good back before. Yeah, I like him. Even Vardy could be worth a go now. If people who earn Lacazette down to Vardy is a massive differential. I like it. He's been involved in the last few games after coming back. He's had an assist or a goal or something. Yeah, I'm tempted in them completely. I think they've got 4 good fixtures and then 3 bad ones or 2 bad ones or something. But they've just won those last 2 against Chelsea and City. So why can't they do it again against Liverpool, Spurs? I think it was United.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's all well and good they do it against the big teams, but you don't really get a Leicester player in for those big fixtures. So it's these 4 now. You'd really want them to come in and steamroll Cardiff and Southampton at home. The away games are a little bit trickier, to be fair. Everton and Wolves.
Yeah.
But all the same, they're all winnable games for Leicester. I just think they look really, really sharp over Christmas. I thought Vardy and Maddison linked really well in that Chelsea game, and they would handle their business well against City, despite going the goal down. They showed good resolve. I don't think a team comes back to win 2-1 if they're not fully with or believing in the manager. I just thought it was a good performance from them, and they impressed me.
I'm tempted by one of the defenders for either Trippier or Alonso. I think that's the area I would go for if I want one of them to come in.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good bet, honestly. I think people did well when they got in them before, and they just kept showing up points. And you and me kind of just stayed away just because we thought, oh, we're just not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe now is the time to finally get on them properly.
I think the main we'll probably come on to it a bit later, but the main reason we've been talking up these 5 million defenders as potential replacements for the likes of Alonso, maybe Trippier, in your squad is the fact that Hazard's now performing so well, and most of the points in this recent game week were scored by midfielders. So perhaps it's time, as it has been previously this season, to move our funds back into midfield and away from the defence. Yeah, and when you've got players like Digne and Doherty, and even Lovren and Trent at Liverpool all performing for less than 5.5, and you've got Robertson and Trippier and Alonso, all 6, some of them 6.5 plus. Yeah, there's a case to be made for swapping your funds around and getting your assets in midfield. So they're definitely worth considering.
Yeah.
And cool. All right. Any more to say about Cardiff before we move on? I was just going to say they looked tame without Patterson in their side. Yeah, 4 shots on target against Palace, and I just think that was quite. We thought it'd be a low-scoring game. 0-0 was.
Torn apart by United as well, didn't they?
Yeah. So I think it's tough. It would be a tough time to score for Cardiff. If they haven't got Patterson in the team. I don't think they've got that same impact and same energy up front without him. And I think
we've got a 3-0 to Leicester here. I think they'll punish Cardiff.
Okay. Yeah, I could agree with that. I could see a clean sheet for sure, but I think it'll be a little bit closer. But yeah, Leicester win for me. Cool indeed. Right, Spurs against Wolves, Kieran, at Wembley. Do you want to talk about your transfer for this week? Who you've got?
So yes, I've bought in Kane. Enough of not having him. Aubameyang's done well in the last 2, but I feel like Liverpool will keep that clean sheet against Arsenal. So I bought in Kane for this week, and with Cardiff, I think it's Cardiff the next game week in mind.
Yep.
So yeah, he'll be captain. He didn't do much against in that 5-0 win. I'm completely blanking who it's against now.
Bournemouth?
Again? That's it. Yeah, Bournemouth, sorry. Mind fart there. But yeah, he got the goal, 2 goals and assists in the game before. I think the fixture congestion seems to suit him, seems to come alive, just tired of defences, I don't know. But yeah, Eriksen, Son, all those guys coming back in to help him out. He just seems to be on it at the moment. And there's a hat-trick coming, 100%. And hopefully I'm on it before it happens. Like, I've missed out on enough of his points. Aubameyang's kind of covered him. So yeah, I think Kane in this week is a good idea.
Yeah, no, he's like you say, he's absolutely banging form. So that was the 8th game in a row that he started. He's returned in.
Yeah.
So yeah, just incredible consistency at the moment. He did worry me a little bit for the lack of penalty area touches against Bournemouth. I think he's still dropping quite deep. So he only managed 4 touches in the penalty area against Bournemouth, and one of which was the goal he took first time, didn't he? That nice little assist from Eriksen, dinked over the top. So yeah, when you compare that to Son had 7 penalty area touches and yeah, averaging nearly 2 shots on goal a game. Son does look like a good option. I think it's just so with influx of midfield options at the moment. It's difficult to get like the right 4 or 5 into your team. But Son has been, whilst Kane's been consistent, Son has just been outstanding, isn't he? It's 49 points he's scored in the last 4 game weeks now.
Yeah, I've got down here 70 points since game week 13.
70 points, that's mad, isn't it? It's pretty mad. Yeah, so he's since he's come back and he's got up to speed. It's a shame that he's taken another break again, because I imagine when he comes back, it's still going to take him a while because he's probably going to need another rest to get right back firing again. But Son and Kane have just been incredible these last 2 games. I think it's going to be a little bit more tricky for them against Wolves.
Yeah.
Like, I think Wolves are fairly decent away from home, and plus against a big side. And they ran Spurs quite close, didn't they? When they lost, they were 3-0 down, weren't they? And then they came back to 3-2. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they've got the history on the side there, as well as these good performances against the big sides.
But I think that shows that Spurs can definitely score against them. 3 goals there.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
Yeah, at home, I think Wolves will struggle. But obviously, yeah, they do well against bigger teams. But I think Spurs are 11 goals in 2 games say it all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They're on fire. So if Son isn't rested, which I don't see why he would be for this cup, for the Asian Cup, and Eriksen plays and maybe Ali's back, yeah, I think they'll smash Wolves.
Now, I think just for Son and the Asian Cup, I think we're right in saying that he has 3 games left, doesn't he, before he goes? He has the Wolves game at home, the Cardiff game away, and the Man United game at home. So a lot of people have been asking us, is it too late to bring him in? My answer would definitely be no, because he's in form. I would imagine he plays some part in all those 3 games.
Yeah.
2 of them at home. And Pochettino likes particularly playing him at home, so he stretches that pitch because he's got the pace, hasn't he, that Kane doesn't quite have up front. So I think, yeah, it's definitely not too late to get him in 3 weeks. More than enough time to repay your transfer.
I think if you're going to get him in, it has to be this week.
Definitely.
As you can see, I've not done it. I bought in Kane instead because I feel like the hat-trick is just coming. Kane has mentioned, like, oh, Son's finally assisted him for once in one of the games.
Yeah,
so I feel like that is kind of on their minds, that they want to be assisting Kane for more goals at the moment. But yeah, just fancy Kane this weekend, and fingers crossed. Hopefully, Son won't, ruin my rank again. But yeah, the people who got him in for all these points, well done to you.
So you're a little bit worried about Trippier heading into this one? Obviously got rested, or you think that was a one-off?
It's probably a one-off, isn't it? Yeah, Walker Peters did pretty well, 3 assists. 18 people captained him in FPL. I mean, where's that coming from? I mean, what the hell?
Just his friends and family.
Well, yeah. Do you think he told the friends and family just like, I'm playing this weekend?
Yeah, get me in my fantasy team.
I just think that's kind of bizarre. But,
wouldn't you?
Well, maybe, but you wouldn't expect to get 3 assists, would you?
No, but it'd be legendary. Yeah. Can you imagine your dad saying, "Oh, triple captain my son against."
Yeah, true.
Against Bournemouth at home on Boxing Day.
But no, I think Trippier will come back in, surely. If not, then...
Yeah. I think it's a tricky game. Trippier got an assist, didn't he, previously against Wolves for Kane. So yeah, I think he'll come back in.
I hope so.
I haven't got much hope for my Wolves asset in Doherty. He's playing, but I don't think he's going to get a clean sheet, and I think he'd be hard pushed to get any attacking returns. He's still showing good form going forward. So he had 1 shot on target against Fulham and 3 penalty area touches, which put that in perspective was 1 less than Kane got at home to Bournemouth.
Yeah.
So he's still getting forward, but he's in my team because I don't have a preferable bench player, and I think he's just got that attacking threat. I noticed you've put Jimmy on the bench.
Yeah.
You just don't fancy him?
Yeah, not compared to the rest of my players, basically.
Yeah.
I think he could do something, but I think Trippier clean sheet is more likely. And yeah, the other players are all just not in form, but especially the City ones. But the rest of them are in form. And fancy City to bounce back, so Jimmy on the bench, first bench seems right to me.
Yeah, I think it makes sense looking at the rest of your team. It is a bit difficult because he's got good history against big sides this season.
Like he went missing against Liverpool though, so and I think they always seem to get just crowded out in midfield. They seem to, even when they brought in Saiss or whatever in midfield as well.
Yeah,
they just get out muscled in the midfield and out crowded, and just never seem to be enough players in there. And Nuno needs to stop playing Traore because he's absolutely terrible, and they need to get help to Jimenez somehow. He just always seems isolated, and yeah, he had a few shots in this game this week. Did okay, kind of maybe unlucky not to return, but yeah, against Tottenham, I can't really see it too much, especially away.
That's fair enough. Looking further down the line, I think there's reason to be excited about Wolves' fixtures because after the Tottenham game, they've got Palace. Then they travel to Man City away, but then they got back-to-back home games against Leicester and West Ham. So
yeah, he'll be through all those.
Yeah, they'll be looking to put some more points on the board. And they've been doing well in recent weeks. I think a bit of a blip with the Fulham game.
Yeah.
But I could see Wolves bouncing back. Talking of Watford, should we talk about them next against Newcastle?
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to start on here?
I was going to mention Holovas.
Okay, yes, do.
12.9% owned still, which is fairly high for a kind of lower team player. 4.8 million, 7, 5, and 4 in his last 3 games. So he's still returning when he's not getting like clean sheets or whatever. But he's picked up another 2 yellow cards since his ban, so it seems like a competition for him. He's trying to get as many yellows as possible.
Yeah.
So when you reach 10, you get a 2-game ban instead of 1. So, buy him at your own risk, but he does seem like he's kind of worth it at the moment because they got 4 great fixtures and then a tough one, then another 3 good fixtures after that. I like him. He's kind of in the toss-up between him and sort of Leicester defenders, but possibly coming in. He looks good. What do you think of him?
Yeah, I like him. I need Watford to get some more clean sheets, but you can't deny he's getting involved. The yellow cards does worry me a little bit because as soon as you get a yellow, you're very unlikely to pick up bonus really in this game, especially he's not getting many clean sheets. And but yeah, his attacking threats there, and they've got the fixtures, haven't they? So he could be a good punt. I'm still a little bit surprised he's so highly owned, but I think that's probably due in part to that game week 1. Really good game week, and a lot of people just transferred him and then just left him in their team. So I think he's in a lot of dead teams now. Do you want to talk about your new acquisition in between the sticks? Yeah,
I bought Foster in for Edison. Probably a game week too late to do this, but yeah, Foster in instead of Fabianski. He's just got good fixtures compared to West Ham now. He's got better fixtures than West Ham does in the next 8. And he gets lots of save points. I've watched him in a few games. I think he looks decent. Kind of unlucky in a few games not to get more. Whenever he gets a clean sheet, he usually gets a few saves, usually on for bonus. So yeah, I think he's good for the time being. 4.5% forget. Needed to get some money elsewhere to get Kane in. And Edison with no clean sheets in the last 6 is it now again?
Yeah.
Seemed like the
might be 7.
Ball. I imagine City will keep a clean sheet this weekend. That's probably just how it goes. But yeah, I needed the funds for Kane, so what can you do? Really?
No, I think it's a good move. Like you said, the fixtures are there and he's played quite well. Apart from trying to take out Hazard the other night, I think he's been playing pretty well.
Yeah.
In terms of other Watford players, just quickly mention Pereira, who's ticking along now. His 6th goal of the season, 6.2. His ownership is still crazy high, 15%. Even when he went through that quiet spell, again, I think that's similar to Holebas, due in part to people transferring him in after game week 1. Just dead teams sailing along with him. But no, my pick out from Watford was going to be Delafeu.
Yeah.
So he's had 3. It's a bit of a differential, really. But 3 goal involvements in the last 3. He had a quiet game against Chelsea, but I think that sort of comes with the territory because you're not expecting much for a 5-4. But what I quite like is his positions he's getting into, his touches in the box, as well as the amount of shots he's having per game. So he's averaging over 1.5 shots per game, which is more than Anderson's managing. So he's a bit of a differential for me at 1.3% owned, especially with those upcoming fixtures. And here's a little behind the curtain reveal. If Martial is actually ruled out this weekend, he's actually my prime candidate to replace him as a little bit of a differential to try and break into
transfer out from Martial.
Yeah, if he's ruled out and it's something more serious than they let on than the other week, I can't afford. Pogba would be my number one. Oh, sorry, my another option there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Delafeu is probably the one I'd bring in. I just like the look of those fixtures, and I think he could be the sort of player that, propel up the league a little bit, or up the overall standings a little bit. So there you go.
Yeah, 13, 9, and 2 in his last 3. With Newcastle home in the next one.
Yeah, no, I like him a lot.
Yeah,
Bournemouth away, and after that, and they've also got Burnley at home. Teams that, recently been conceding a lot of chances.
Yeah.
I think the Palace game is a little bit more tricky. That's away for them, but Palace tend to be quite solid at home. But those other 3 of 4 games, quite fancy them there,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
So it could be good. Cool. All right. I haven't really got anything. I haven't got anything written down about Newcastle.
No, Rondon went missing. Don't know where he was. There's nobody said there's an injury. He's got no flag. Didn't play any minutes. I don't know.
I think it's because Rafa doubled up on Liverpool assets for Christmas, like me.
Maybe.
He wanted that clean sheet. Joselu came in, although Joselu had that huge chance to score, didn't he?
Mm.
Yeah, good ball in from Richie, but fired over. What can you do?
Yeah, nothing to say.
Thank you for missing it. Yes, no, we'll be keep an eye on them, but I think their fixtures are starting to turn now, aren't they? A little bit.
Yeah,
more.
terrible.
Yeah, they've got United, Chelsea, and City in the next 5. Their one decent home game, I'd say, is the home game against Cardiff in 23. So, yeah, if you haven't already bailed out on Rondon, I think now is the time to.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So the 5:30 game on Saturday is sort of, I'd say, the big one of the weekend because it's Liverpool against Arsenal.
Yeah.
Even though I say it's the big one, I think I really only see Liverpool winning this. They've now undefeated in their last 30 Premier League home matches.
Mm-hmm.
An incredible 12 clean sheets so far this season with 7 goals conceded. Is that those sort of stats that's part of the reason why he took Aubameyang out?
Yeah, pretty much. And Lovren and Van Dijk look so solid at the moment. I can't see Aubameyang getting any change from Van Dijk at all. He's not going to get the chances to run in between like he did at Brighton. So yeah, I can only see a Liverpool clean sheet really. I think Iwobi is not very good. Ozil's looked pretty bad. Mkhitaryan's out. I think they basically have no creativity in that midfield. They're kind of relying on Torreira or Xhaka to put a few through balls through, and that's just not happening very often. I think Robertson, Trent will probably play. I can't see any rotation because this is obviously a massive game for Liverpool, especially the next one as well against City. I think, no, is it City?
It is.
It is City,
yep.
Okay. The next 2, I think they'll 100% play their best teams because this is implications for the title, possibly, for these 2 games. Just Salah's not going to get arrested, don't worry about it.
No.
Yeah, big points to come, hopefully, in big title implication games. Clean sheet, maybe a 1-0, 2-0 to Liverpool. Maybe even a 0-0. That might happen. But Arsenal defence is pretty poor, so.
Yeah, I sort of agree with most of what you've been saying there. I think Salah's an interesting one because he's had two great back-to-back game weeks. The one against Wolves, goal and assist, and goal and assist against Newcastle. But I had a little look at deeper at how Salah's been performing at home, especially since he's ahead of the potential of captaincy against Arsenal at home. Because, like you say, I thought it's going to be a no-brainer, isn't it? He plays 90 minutes, and Arsenal are notoriously a little bit leaky. Their defense isn't very good. I think it's no clean sheets in 7 or something like that for them now.
Well, yeah.
It's quite a lot. Anyway, yeah, but Salah's only had one. He had one shot on target against Newcastle, which was the penalty, and that was his only shot on target in his last 3 home games when he's played centre forward, which I thought was kind of a crazy stat, really. That was Everton, United, and this Newcastle game, but for a 13.2 million striker for the top team in the league to only have one shot on target in 3 games was a huge surprise. I think it just seems like whenever I watch Salah play in that position at the moment, he's more involved in giving those little 1-2 give and goes with midfielder runners. So he's backing into a defender, holding the ball up, playing little side passes, but those assists haven't really come off either.
Yeah.
So it's a strange one. So until I read that, I was all for Salah captain, and now I'm not so sure. Because I think also goes without saying that he's had a really poor record against top 6, hasn't he, so far this season? I don't think he's got a goal or an assist, has he?
No, playing against them all. So
yeah, so despite him scoring 47 points in his last 4, I'm not sure I'm going to catch him in this one.
That's kind of the reason why I've not got him back in. I was really obviously very tempted after the hat trick and his last 2 back-to-back hauls of 12 points. But because he's got the 2 top 6 teams in the next 3, it just feels like he's banked all season. Could definitely happen again. Better defences, aren't they? Obviously not Arsenal, but so I'm thinking of getting Salah back in game week 22 after the City game, and then just captain set and forget the rest of the season. I think. That just seems like a no-brainer. I think he's too hard not to have now. He's proving he's consistent. He's proving he's worth that money, I guess, when he's not playing top 6 sides.
Yeah. No, I think that's why these next 2 games are fascinating for him, because if he proves he can score in these 2 big games, Liverpool's fixtures after these 2 are fantastic. So I reckon if he
it's going to triple up again. I think.
Yeah, something's gonna happen. Yeah. I mean, I'm already on the triple up without even giving it too much thought. Little goal machine Lovren back there. What finish?
Yep, Van Dijk goal in game week 18 as well. And before that, I think they're both options at CB now. Trent coming back in and hauling. Dropped again the other day for some reason. I'm looking at Trent for the double up on defence. Trippier or Alonso maybe out. That's no-brainer. They're favourites for the title now, and I think they're going to push on. They're the only team to ever be top at Christmas to have lost, to finish second for the title, but I don't think they're that team to choke it this year. I think City are maybe still favourites, but I think Liverpool's squad and team is just too good to lose it now.
Yeah, I don't see where their loss is going to come. I think Van Dijk has made he's that good and he's made such a difference to their defence.
City need to beat them.
City need to beat them, yeah. Yeah, no, it's going to be a fascinating game, but I see Liverpool winning that one, and that's going to put even more pressure on City ahead of that Southampton game. So really looking forward to this weekend, especially. In a way, I sort of do hope that City and Liverpool both win this weekend, just to make it a little bit tastier, that City-Liverpool game.
Yeah.
Next game week. But yeah, I'll have to wait and see. Okay, on to Sunday. The first of I think it's 4 games on, but the first of them is Palace at home against Chelsea. Do you want to praise Mr. Hazard a little bit? Just talk about how impressed you've been.
He's looked good, hasn't he? Making that Sarri.
That's such an understatement.
False 9. Making that Sarri false 9 his own again. Like I said, like Mertens last week, 10 Mertens into a great false 9, turning into a great one too. Seems to be getting more comfortable there, doesn't he? And just running at people. fantastic, looks great. I really wanted to get him in, but I thought I'd give Sane and Sterling another chance. Didn't work out, obviously, but it is what it is. I think he's a set and forget probably for the rest of the season. I think I'll try and get him back in a few weeks, I think.
It's funny because at the time you and I both put his lack of form down to previous sort of season Hazard, basically, in that he turns it on for 2 or 3 games and he can easily go 5 games and have a quiet spell. Whereas this season, I think he's actually had a reasonable excuse in that he had this injury, and he just wasn't playing to his potential. And it seems that, like Sarri said, didn't he, at the time, I expect he'd be back to his best in 1 or 2, or was it 2 or 3 games? And sure enough, on like the 3rd game, I think he got an assist, and since then he was clocking up assists in these last 3. I think he's now got 3 goals and assists. Or maybe 3 goals and 3 assists in his last 4, actually, I think it is. So yeah, I'm a little bit regretful that I did the move to Sterling, but it's not too late to rectify that, so I think he'll be back in my team soon.
Yeah, and the troll kind of comments about Hazard don't really make much sense now, because he is proving to be quite consistent. I mean, he wasn't a troll when he was injured; like, he was still getting returns coming off the bench, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So, if anything, that's anti-troll. He's coming off the bench and doing well. But yeah, I've just the only reason I haven't got him back is just because I've kept faith in Sterling and Sane, and I think if they want to win the title, they're going to have to do well in the next 4 or 5, and their fixtures are still good as well after Liverpool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to get Hazard back in, but I'm just not sure how or when. Didn't want to get out Sterling this week because I think he might do okay. Didn't want to get Sane out either. Kept the faith. Hazard's going to have to wait. I think Palace will be difficult for them, for sure. I think Wan-Bissaka managed to pocket Sane, like he's pocketed Martial and whoever else he seems to play this season. And Wan-Bissaka might do a job on Hazard. Obviously, he's not quite in the same position. But yeah, I don't see why Palace can't keep it at least tight. Maybe a 1-0 win to Chelsea. I think it'll be a tight game. That's my reasoning for not playing Hazard, really.
Well, yeah, I tend to agree. I think that Palace have shown us so far this season they're a good defensive unit, well organised. And from watching the last couple of Southampton games, if this was a one-off, well, I am treating this as a one-off fixture. Do I keep Sterling or switch back to Hazard? I think the fact that Palace have kept 3 clean sheets at home in the last 3 games makes me think they're going to keep it tight against Chelsea. And that game against Southampton is going to be a bit more open. It seems like this new Southampton manager likes to play attacking football and get forward, but as we saw last night against West Ham, they were getting exposed, weren't they, on the break, and I think that could really lend itself to a City win in that game. So Hazard, I think he's going to have to wait another week, but I've been so impressed with him these last couple of game weeks. I think he's had a hand in 50% of Chelsea's goals so far this season, so either a goal or goals or assists, that is. I think that's quite incredible, really.
That's a reason to kind of go Hazard as well, because Sterling and Sane are rotatable. Hazard, not at all, is he? He's the main man in that team. And he will never be rested unless he's injured, I guess.
Well, the fact that he gets rested for the Europa League games and the Cup games, he's basically for the league, isn't he?
Yes.
They basically take him out of the sealed packaging every weekend, and they say, go and play, and then we put you back in, and then they just keep him all safe all week.
Yeah.
So he's nice. But no, I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair, that game. I wouldn't be surprised if it's, like you say, a 1-0 or a 0-0.
I think
Palace got it in them.
In the future, my midfield may look like Salah, Hazard, and Aguero instead of Kane and stuff like that again. No City and Aguero come back in. Might look like that, kind of pre-wild card before Aguero was injured.
Yeah.
Seems to be the way it's going. We'll see.
All right, lots to consider ahead of that one. Burnley against West Ham, or have you got any more you want to say on Chelsea before we move on?
Do we want to talk about Alonso?
We did a little bit about the tippy top, didn't we? But about Digne, but like mentioned back then, a lot of people have been asking whether it's time to get rid. I'm keeping for the Palace game because Palace had 30, what was it, something like 31 shots against Cardiff at home, and something like 10 on target. That's why Etheridge had loads of save points. But they battered them, basically, I'm trying to say, and they can't finish.
Yeah.
So I sort of fancy a Chelsea clean sheet in that game, and then they've got those 2 back-to-back home games after that. So seems like a bit of an unnecessary transfer at the moment.
Yeah, I think at least he's going to get a couple clean sheets in the next 3.
Yeah.
And
if he doesn't, he's dead to me.
Yeah, then we can get rid. Then we can just be like, it's whatever. It's time for him to go. He's not performed against Newcastle, Southampton, and Palace.
Yeah.
Get rid time, sort of. Just sort of like Edison and the City assets not keeping clean sheets. If Chelsea aren't doing it, why are we not getting rid of Alonso?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's still getting forward. He's still in those positions. Yeah, I'm going to keep the faith. He's there to get rid of in the future. But for now, I'm keeping it because everyone that's selling means less owners who are going to benefit from him.
I was going to say we've seen it before, haven't we? And just patience is key in FPL. As soon as you make a big decision on a premium player like that, they'll come back to haunt you. Like we just talked about with Hazard and Sterling a couple of game weeks ago. I think
maybe it's only his haircut. We've seen this before. Fellaini got rid of his hair. He's turned terrible. Alonso's had a haircut. He's turned really bad. Yeah, he has. Yeah, he's had a big little, well, not a big little, but a little trim. He's lost some of the locks a bit.
That must be it.
Yeah, the wind's not going through it quite as.
All right, maybe we'll just have to tweet him that. Maybe we'll send him a wig.
The next few games, it'll grow back and it'll be back to normal.
Oh, I'll get up the post office in a minute and send him a wig direct for Marcus. Cool. All right. Not that I have lots of wigs, by the way. Just I'll buy one. Okay. So Burnley, West Ham.
Yep.
2:15 is the kickoff in this one. It's crazy. It's up against Southampton, Man City for the 2:15 kickoffs. But yes, I think we'll talk about this one first. Shall we just start by saying how awful Burnley are at the moment?
Whipping boys.
Whipping boys. That's right. They are the whipping boys. 3 goals in 20 minutes against Everton. And I think they've now conceded at average 2 goals at home every game this season. That's crazy, isn't it? So
I'm surprised people aren't talking about Dyche out yet.
I know, it's strange, isn't it?
Any other manager on this terrible run, I think he'd be gone by now. He's just staying there on good faith of his past performances, I think. But yeah, I can only see a West Ham win, really. They managed to score 2 away on the break against Southampton.
Yeah.
It looked better. So Anderson, maybe Arnie might be back. Chicho might be back. I'm not actually sure what happened to him. But yeah, Anderson looked fantastic in the last game, and I expect him to do well again. Burnley just conceding like fun. So yeah, expecting good points. I think Anderson is my vice at the moment. Yeah, like it.
I think it'd be in Burnley play a little bit differently to Southampton in that I don't see them having a lot of the ball and getting forward. Thus, there's not going to be as much space for West Ham to break into.
Yeah.
So I think if they do play in, which they probably will, they'll play quite low and they'll have lots of shots against them from outside the area, which is how Joe Hart usually racks up these save points. But I think having a player like Hernandez back in the box, sniffing around for any sort of loose second balls, this is the kind of game he'll love.
Yeah.
And I could see actually Snodgrass doing quite well in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Set pieces and little through balls from the edge of the area. Whereas I'm obviously really pleased with how Anderson did last night, but I'm not sure if it's his sort of fixture. But we'll have to see on that one. I just feel like he won't be in the box as much as, or won't be given as much free running space as he would in other games.
Yeah, maybe. I kept him for this Burnley game. I figured he'd do really well. Burnley conceding loads. Yeah, I'm confident in Anderson.
Yeah, well, he's in fantastic form, isn't he? He's got 6 goal involvements in the last 6 games, and he's been averaging slightly less than 1.5 shots per game. So it's not crazily high, but it shows that Southampton game was a bumper. And the fact that everyone's been battering Burnley recently, I think West Ham will continue that trend and win. Just not sure he'll be involved as he was last night.
I think he's just great to watch, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's just a quality player. Fabianski, no clean sheet in the last one. Plenty of saves though. Owners probably pretty annoyed about that, but no clean sheets in a while, I think, for West Ham. So yeah, that's part of the reason why I went to Foster, because I think they're just not keeping that many clean sheets, and Foster's getting kind of just as many save points. So,
can you believe that Anderson was the fourth most sold player
yeah,
in these two fixtures?
Out, yeah. But most people went towards either Martial, which obviously didn't work out, but will in the future, or Son. So,
yeah,
you can't
or
really
Pogba.
say that. Yeah, or Pogba. So that most transfers out for him worked out anyway. So,
yeah.
But yeah, just you'd probably be a bit frustrated watching that Monday night game, wouldn't you? No, when was it now? Thursday? Yeah, Thursday game. Sorry.
Last night it was. Yeah.
I'm just forgetting what day of the week it is after Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. But frustrating watch on that Thursday night, but yeah, I assume you took him out for a good reason. But yeah, I'm keeping him for the time being.
Cool. Yeah, as will I. Well, they've got these good fixtures. Cool. So the other quarter past 2 game is the big one, because I think Liverpool win, and I think it's gonna be all the pressure's gonna be on City.
Yeah.
So the main assets to talk about, Sterling, of course, because it's just his lack of form. So he's only got 1 goal in his last 4, and yeah, it seems like it's a rough time for him at the moment. I just think he's not having many shots on goal, not taking many chances. He's looking like from the Leicester highlights, it looked like he was going for or trying to assist more. He wasn't arriving in the box at the right time. So I think it's a tricky time owning a City player. Mm-hmm. In your case, double City.
Yeah.
How have you coped?
Barely at all, considering all my red arrows. But yeah, a couple of weeks ago they managed to do well, Sane with 2 assists, and Sterling came off the bench for a goal. So I'm hoping like something like that. I think City have to perform. If they lose or draw and Liverpool win, the title may be gone from them weekend. So I think they have to win, and I think they're going to bounce back. I think Silva is guaranteed to start. I think he's what makes them tick, as well as Fernandinho. Obviously, Fernandinho is probably still out, but I think Silva is what makes them tick going forward. So I think he'll start 100%. KDB might be benched again. I think Sterling, Sane might start. I think Mahrez, when he came on, wasn't great either. There's been comments from him saying, "Oh, he's getting there. He's getting better, but he's not quite there." So I feel like Pep's probably thinks that as well. Aguero probably in again, I'd say. Jesus, not sure. But yeah, I've got a 5-1 win to City here. I think
5-1.
I think they're going to bounce back and absolutely smash them, because they're too good not to smash Southampton. These 2 losses are going to wake them up, and I'm keeping faith or that out of hope, I suppose. And if they don't do well this game, then one of them is on the chopping block.
Yeah. Well, the form has totally dropped off, hasn't it, since that Chelsea loss with those 3 losses. I think Fernandinho being out makes such a huge difference to them. They don't seem to have that ability to win the ball back in midfield enough. But I think he's going to go guns blazing this one. I think Silva. I've written down that I think Silva, KDB, Aguero, Sane, and Sterling will all start, and he'll probably play Gundo at base of midfield. So I think it's going to be
not Mahrez.
No, I don't think Mahrez will start. No.
I think it's
I think I'm a little bit worried about Sterling, because he's only had 2 shots on target in his last 4 games. So I think he's sort of like looking like he's woefully out of form. But I expect him to have lots more chances against Southampton, and they should pick up a win here.
Yeah, there was a few times where Sane had got through and he could have just squared it across the box. Sterling's like trademarks, or just tap in on the far post.
Yeah.
And that's where he gets loads of his goals. And he's still kind of going forward, trying to like cut in and shoot, and that's where he gets lots of goals as well. So, I just got to try and keep faith, I think. And hopefully those 2 punish their sellers. I think they will. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I don't think it's the time to jump off them either with Southampton away, and they need to win. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. The reason you've had such a drop off recently since you've wildcarded is just because of the double up in the City team.
Yeah.
And who would have thought they had such a poor run in what were pretty favourable games?
Exactly. I got them when they were firing.
Yeah.
When Hazard and Salah weren't firing. And just Sterling, Sane dropped off. Form went off the cliff, and Salah and Hazard picked it straight up. I can't predict unpredictable form. So,
No.
whatever.
It's just one of those things. What did you think about? Well, talk about Southampton briefly. I mean, I think it's going to be a City win, but for new owners of Danny Ings, because I know there are a lot, because he's had a bit of a price rise recently. Well, I think in most cases it's so people can jig in midfielder player, and he's been used as sort of a downgrade. But he got subbed off early last night, didn't he?
Yeah, around 60 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah, he got his 2 points, but we didn't hear anything about if it was an injury related or if it was tactical, did we?
No, so yeah, slightly worrying.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, I had been considering him as a Wilson replacement in like the next 2 game weeks.
Yeah.
But now I think that despite Bournemouth's woeful run of form, which we'll talk about in a minute, that I think Wilson looks like with the fixtures picking back up, he should pick back up, and maybe not to be too hasty to get rid of him. But yeah. So we'll see. Cool. All right. So you say 5-1 to City. I should feel like I should do a score prediction.
Maybe that one is only there just because I hope they don't keep that clean sheet after it's
I see.
gone. But I think they probably will. I think 5-0, something like that.
I'm going to say it'll be 2-1. I think it'll be a bit closer, a bit nervy. I'll say 2-1. So that brings us to our last game of game week 20 is Man United against Bournemouth, which we're both looking forward to intensely because we have Man United players now in our team, which we didn't the last time we did a show. So talk to me about Rashford. Can I actually, before I start, let me just preface this by saying you always talk to me about how much you don't like Rashford as a player. League 2 standard player is what always gets brought up. But yeah, there he is. Hang on a minute, is that him? There he is. He's next to Kane in your team. How's that happen then?
He came in game week 18 after his goal in the week before against Cardiff. I don't rate him as a player, but I thought maybe this would be the time for him to turn it around. He looked good in that game against Cardiff. Prime fixture at the next game. So I couldn't really afford Pogba. I didn't want to get rid of Richarlison or Anderson or any of the midfielders. And Wilson had a bad fixture, so I thought Rashford, why not? Seems nailed on because Lukaku, Sanchez not around. It was a gamble on a player that I thought, maybe it's time to get behind him. Maybe he can prove me wrong. I'll be really happy if he does as a United supporter. The reasons are there. I think Ollie's obviously said that Lukaku, Sanchez, Martial have kind of lightly trained and they're back in contention. But I think Rashford will probably start and come off early for one of them, which I'm kind of fine with because United looked great. Rashford did look good in that game, had a good few chances. And he was just unlucky, in my opinion. Like, if you watch someone and they're just unlucky, then you can just kind of put it just down to that and keep them and hope for returns in the future because they're getting in the positions. Bournemouth at home, good fixture. Hopefully he starts. If not, he'll probably come on. Points are there to be earned.
Yeah, I agree. I think his stats look really good from the last game against Huddersfield. He had 4 shots, 9 penalty area touches, and that 1 big chance created. So I think all but one of those shots were in the box as well. So I think the stats are definitely there. He's getting in the right positions. I saw a quote from Ollie that said he was going to talk to him about his finishing and show him a few things. He needs to pass the ball into the net when he's in the box more, which I think is a fair observation because usually when we watch a Rashford, with that Bournemouth game a couple of weeks ago, or maybe like game week, 14 or 15, when he had that great chance from less than 6 yards out and just blasted it at the player on the line without looking at the goal. Yeah. So I think that the other major thing to talk about with United is obviously the Paul Pogba, the enigma, the virus, the team killer.
You didn't think he would do well, and I said Paul Pogba is going to be the main man going forward, 100%, and he's going to be the reason that United turn this form around, and he has been.
Yeah, he has been. 3 goals, 2 assists. 2 goals, 3 assists in the last 2. His ownership shot up to 16%. His price has gone up to 8, which I think is where it started the season.
Mm-hmm.
So he's looking good. He's looking good. I'm not sure if it's consistent. Maybe he'll keep proving me wrong. I thought that the 2 goals were they were good, but I'm not sure he's going to score from outside the box every week.
Sure.
But he had a lot of shots against Huddersfield. I think he had 5. So
looking confident.
Yeah, he is looking confident. And that's what I would be excited about. I see a lot of people taking Sane and Sterling out for him. He's one to watch. If he plays well against Bournemouth, I think he's going to really shoot up in price because they've still got the fixtures, haven't they? And he's looking like he out of all the United options, he's the one who's got the most assurability of starts, isn't he?
Yeah, he's nailed on.
Yeah.
All that attack line are rotatable compared other than Pogba, I'd say. And I don't think he'll get goals against Bournemouth necessarily, but I think he was feeding on those penalties and sort of just bread and butter assists of just a pass to someone shooting outside the box early on in the season as well.
Yeah.
And he'll probably do that again against Bournemouth. I think he'll probably get an assist or maybe two. But yeah, maybe Pogba in for Sterling or Sane doesn't seem quite right, but they're in form, on fire. You need to get on teams that are in form. I've got down their defence as well. De Gea made a good few saves, maybe a bit unlucky to concede in that game. But yeah, I think their defence is going to keep clean sheets, and we need to get on it before it becomes popular, like the rest of the United front line. Ollie also said that he wants to keep clean sheets. He thinks that's the major point. He said this is all great winning, but we need to get that foundation of clean sheets first. Lindelof at 4.8 million, 1.2% owned. Smalling's out still. He's nailed on for the time being. Jones as well had two good chances, didn't he? In that game. He's 5.1, so a little bit more expensive, but 0.5% owned, so absolutely massive differential. And probably nailed on for the time being. I do fancy them. I don't think Shaw is really that much of an option because he doesn't get that far forward. I'm not sure.
He loves a yellow card as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's nailed on with Young, Valencia, Delo sort of lurking in the back, and Darmian, I suppose. I think it's the centre backs if you want to go to defence, or De Gea. Yeah, that's my tip, and I kind of want to go for one of them very soon. Because there's going to be clean sheets, 100%. And it's probably in this Bournemouth game. I've got a 4-0 down.
4-0?
Yeah.
Cool, you got some big scores again.
Yeah.
I'm still a little bit unsure about their defence, man, because they played Cardiff and Huddersfield, and they conceded a sloppy goal in each of them.
Oh, yeah, but Ollie just didn't have much time to kind of work with them. And there's one coming, 100%. There's going to be more clean sheets.
All right. They have got their fixture run is still great. They've got 4 great fixtures in the next 5. They've got that tricky away game against Tottenham, which I think we'll find out more about them defensively. So it remains to be seen. I don't think they're going to get a clean sheet against Bournemouth. Despite Bournemouth's tragic form, they've only got 2 wins in 9 now, and they've 21 goals conceded in that time. There's been a bit of an exodus on Bournemouth players, and you finally got rid of Wilson, didn't you? Or was it the game week before last?
It was game week 18, yeah.
Yeah, so...
I was worried about it, but kind of worked out. It's Wilson's fault.
Yeah, I think their 2 wins have come at home against Brighton and Huddersfield. So they've had a really, really tough time. I mean, we knew the run was going to be bad, and the points would dry up a little bit, but yeah, they've really taken a turn. So their fixtures do pick up a little bit after this game, in that they've got Watford, Everton and West Ham in the next 3 after Man United, but... Yeah, I'm not expecting. I think they'll score, which is why I'm playing Wilson rather than Wan-Bissaka, just on the off chance it's him. But
yeah,
they're just in a bit of a spiral at the moment.
Yeah, no, fair point. Not really much else to say, honestly.
No. Okay. So you want to say 4-0 in that one? I'm going to do a prediction as well. Then I'm going to say it'd be 3-1. Callum Wilson, overhead bicycle kick, Stretford end, 3 bonus points
for me.
What was that, sorry?
Any Rashford goals in there for me?
Probably a Rashford goal, yeah. I would have thought so.
Like it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Should we do, we'll just do more of a chat about our captaincy transfer plans. I mean, you've already done yours, and pick out a few clean sheets because we've done all our fixture roundup. So do you want to talk more about your captaincy pick then?
Yep, on Kane at the moment, coming for Aubameyang. Good fixture, in form, 11 goals in 2 games. No brainer for me. Can't put it on a City one because I'm just not sure which one's going to start. Yeah, if I did know, I'd probably put it on one of them because they need to bounce back. But yeah, Kane's good for me at home towards.
No, that's good. I like to look at the average number of chances conceded by the sides my captaincy options are playing. So the teams that have conceded the most. So I've looked at Kane, Son, Hazard, Salah, and Martial as the players in my team, and probably the ones who are generally the most popular for captaincy this week. So Hazard actually is playing the team who concede the least chances at home, so that's not really a surprise. We know Palace are tough defensively. That's 10 chances. Kane and Son, then the next with against Wolves, who concede 11, and then Salah and Martial playing Arsenal and Bournemouth, who concede 14. So looking at that, it made me think that Martial and Salah were sort of my prime picks. I like to base my captaincy on this, and it's usually worked out quite well recently. So yeah, Salah and Martial are my picks, but at the moment I'm on Martial if he's past fit, purely because of the Salah form from this season, and that he's had no goal involvements against sides in the top 6, and he's only had one shot on target, which was a penalty against Newcastle in the last 3 at home. So yeah, I'm prepared to take a bit of a gamble on Martial this week. I think if he comes back in, Bournemouth's form's been pretty damned atrocious. Probably the worst team of the 3 when it comes to Arsenal and Wolves, and Palace.
Yeah, like it.
Cool. All right, so that's probably Martial with Salah. Sorry, and if Martial doesn't get past fit, it will likely be Salah and Sterling vice captain. Yeah, cool. There we go. Cool. All right, so Oh yeah, I was going to talk about transfer plans because you've already made yours, haven't you?
Yeah.
But you not really much to say. Edison to Foster and Aubameyang to Kane. I think I'm gonna. If Martial's fit, I won't do anything. If he's unfit and going to be ruled out for a while, Delafeu's going to come in. And then next week I'm going to be doing the Hazard transfer, so leave it a bit. Go on then, do you want to pick out some clean sheets? Surely Man United are going to be on there.
Yeah, I've got Liverpool and Man United. Liverpool, home to Arsenal. Can't see Arsenal getting much there. And Man United is my kind of risky one. But
okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to pick... Well, you picked some big sides. I'm going to pick some lower sides. I'm going to pick out Leicester against Cardiff. I think that's going to come in this week for them, and I think anyone who's jumped on Pereira or Chilwell will be rewarded. Mm-hmm. I'm also going to go about this, Kieran. It's a crazy one for the end of 2019. I think Fulham are going to keep a clean sheet against Huddersfield at home, and they are going to win.
Yeah, it's likely, isn't it?
I think so. I just think Huddersfield has got real problems in the forward area.
Striking.
Yeah, that's why I still can't trust the United defence. I mean, how they let Huddersfield score in the last minute? They just switched off, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor. All right. So that's captaincy, transfers, and clean sheets. We've done it all, haven't we?
Yeah.
Gosh, that was good. All right. Cool. I think that wraps it up. Unless you've got anything else you want to say. Pearls of wisdom you want to drop? Not really. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. We'll be back. We were talking about this. We'll probably be back on Monday because that is the day before. Maybe, maybe. We'll post on Twitter if we are or aren't. But yeah, potentially Monday to preview the next game week. And yeah, hope you join us then. If you've got a pressing question about your team ahead of all this fixture malarkey, post it below or tweet us and we'll do our best to answer. If you haven't already, we'd love if you subscribe to our channel, see more of our content, and give the video a thumbs up. Makes us look cool because we are cool and you're cool as well. Cool. All right, so also before we end, I should also say that we are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts for your audio listening pleasure. So search FPL Cougars on your favorite listening device and you will find us. And basically this show, the audio gets ripped and it's on there. Cool. All right. So until next week, have a happy new year. Enjoy the game week. Goodbye from me.
Happy New Year if we don't see you before. And cheers.
Cheers, guys.